At all. I've had a very unusual career, if you can even call it a career. I spent 15 years of my strongest earning years as an abstract oil painter, earning nothing, and went back to school at in my late 30s and got into the financial services industry and built up a career in communications and strategy, and it came to NEI Investments, which is Canada's leader in responsible investing, as the head of marketing to help the organization kind of rebrand and reposition itself in this burgeoning responsible investing market. And took it to the cusp of launching that rebrand. And then we got involved in a merger that created this entity called Aviso Wealth. And my role kind of changed. And I actually left the organization for 5 months. And I got a call from the head of NEI, and he said, we'd like you to come back, but not in marketing, but to lead the ESG services team. And NEI's ESG services team is a legend in the industry and has, over the course of the past 35 years, really built up this incredible legacy of leadership and really understanding responsible investing and where the market is going, and just being out in front of everyone on so many important issues like climate change, like predatory lending, like digital rights, like executive compensation. And so when I was asked that, I kind of laughed and said, well, I'm not a sustainability expert. And his response was, we don't need an expert. We need someone who can help, shift the culture a bit in the organization, in the ESG services team, and build stronger connections with our key stakeholders of investment advisors. And I was like, well, I can do that, but I need a little bit of credibility. So would you consider, allowing me to take this course? And because I'd looked up this course after they made me the offer, and I really liked the way it sounded. Like Shauna, UT had a lot to do with my choice, a highly credible organization. But I was just coming in here to this program looking for some training that was going to give me credibility, and I got that, but I got so much more than that. And from the moment I walked in the door, the first person I met on the first day when we all met physically, and we got to do one cohort that way, which was great. First person I met was Mimi, and sometimes you meet people and you immediately you're in the right place, and that was exactly the feeling I had when I met Mimi. It was exactly the feeling I had when I talked to Catherine the first time, and then when I met all the fellow students in my cohort. I think one of the greatest jobs that Mimi and Catherine do, in addition to the way they build the program, and I'll get into that in a second, is the way they curate the membership of the cohorts. Just a fantastic group of people who, as Shauna says, all believe in the same things, but all come at it from very different ways and very different backgrounds, and really make you feel at home, and really make you feel like we're all part of this, all part of trying to solve something that's really big and really tricky and is not easily solved, and is going to take a lot of brains and a lot of people to do it. And you get that feeling and that momentum, and it becomes a movement, and it becomes just a place you want to be, and the people you want to be around. And then when you layer that on top of the program, the easiest thing in the world would be to create a program where all this practical stuff could be all there is. And you would come out of there and you would learn something. But when you layer in some of these strange and wonderful elements like fiction and poetry and meditation, and doing an incredible session on the Indigenous blanket exercise, like just powerful things that you might not think are core to sustainability, but really those are the things you carry forward. And so it's that combination of, as Mimi said, it's a little bit of arts and it's a little bit of science, and you need both to really understand it and get the job done. I think that has, was the real value for me, is the people and the way the program is constructed. I will say about the capstone, I wanted to do something that was very academically focused, and I wrote about this feeling I had more than anything else, was that because of what's going on in the world, and this idea was developed before COVID came along, people really want to enable their purpose. They want to stand for something more than I think we were being allowed to stand for. And COVID really kind of focused all that. And so I was allowed to, you know, conduct this exercise, this rumination on purpose, and tie it a little bit to the financial advice industry. But I was just happy to have the freedom to kind of explore that deeply, to have a mentor who understood exactly what I was doing and really challenged me on some of the questions I was trying to solve. And I thought that would be that. But in fact, it has become so embedded in what I do at work. It actually raised the profile of this issue, and winning the Capstone Award certainly helped with that, to the point where, you know, an organization that is trying to create a purpose-based standard for global companies and is working with the OECD has reached out to me and said, will you help us kind of work with the OECD and figure this out? And so it's just given me a springboard to do all kinds of amazing things way beyond that initial desire to just, you know, get some credibility in this space. And so I can't thank the organization enough for helping me on this journey. Just super excited to be involved with the kind of people that Mimi and Catherine pull together in this program, people like Shauna. And I see some familiar faces on here who are interested in the program. If you want to talk to me, if you want to talk to Shauna about this, please do, because I think there's probably nothing else like this in the market. And I think, as Mimi said, we're really onto something with this slow knowledge. There's an incredible move out there to try and simplify these sustainability challenges and put them into boxes that we can easily solve and move on. And that's not the game at all. The game is to really execute fundamental change in so many aspects of the world. And this program understands that and is producing people who are going to go out there and think that way and act that way and implement these kinds of strategies so that we can have a better world. So thank you for that. And thank you to everyone for having me today and for listening to my little story.